Okay, we're looking at day 3, I think. I'm trying to get a pattern going here. This little line curve of color. And it is hot. It's hot out here. Okay, it's taking a little more shape. That's the line I want to create right there. This ceramic tile mortar. So there's 4 parts mortar to 1 part water.
Yeah, 4-to-1 ratio.
You like brownie batter, basically. So
I'm going to start in the very corner. So this is about the right consistency. So we're just taking the first piece and we're going to adhere it to the corner. I'm going to go ahead and adhere all of the bigger pieces within the first foot or so. Spread it all the way up to the top and get it really well on the sides. About a layer about that thin all the way up and all the way to it. You're going to get messy, and it's okay, you can wash it after you do it. So it's okay if you get it on the stones. It will not come out of clothes real easily, but you know, that's why I'm wearing my pajamas. Okay, the first 3 pieces, I have this one down, this one, and this one. And so here's the stone that goes in. We're going to awkwardly set it down there. Wait, was it this way? See, sometimes you forget which way you had it. I think it was this way. Yes, just that way. Or was it that way? Ha! Guys, I'm going to create a little line that goes all the way from there up to there. But I have to do the concrete a little bit thicker because I want them kind of level with the tops of these stones. So there's that. They're pretty much the same height now as the stone. So that's good. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces and these little stones all set. And we used all of our 2 cups of mortar. Okay, so it's day 4, and I'm checking to make sure everything is adhered. Oh, there's a little snail. You go over there. And it looks like everything is very well stuck. So we're still working on. We've got that much to go, but we're still working on from here down. And that's the piece I want to get finished. So we'll just keep working today. I've got to go get a few more things. I don't have anything grouted yet because I wait for the last minute to do that, so that, well, because it's a gratifying ending to do that, just to wait for the grouting. So we'll get to work. My concrete, I'm just using these dollar store items, and it's working very well. Just pour all that in there.
Add a little water at a time to get to that kind of browny batter consistency.
So this is about the consistency we want. It doesn't fall off easily off of the spatula. As you can see, I'm wearing pajama bottoms again and an old shirt that I don't care about. We're going to start on the color today. this part of it, this section of the coloring area, and sometimes I have to go along with a hammer and beat down the old dry grout. I tried to mix that in as best I could as I was laying down the tiles, but so working on this pebble surface, I am, which I didn't have to do this in the last courtyard I did, but since this is all pebble, I really want to kind of ice it like a cake. I have a lot of baking analogies and I don't even bake very often, but that's what this reminds me of. You just kind of lightly ice it with some of the Thinset, and that way when you start placing your tile, it adheres better. So you coat the tile, the colored tile pieces, just like you do the larger pieces. Maybe need a little bit less, maybe. Just butter it all the way to the edges. Need to smooth that out, and then just place it where it fits. Might not put that there, might put it there. Just like a puzzle. Okay, I bought this this little fall stuff, I think that's how you say it, cup Tuesday morning, and I thought it was so cute. And I'm having a hard time breaking it. But I really don't need any more coffee cups. And I love the pattern, textured pattern. So here goes. Okay, I'm gonna hit it right in the middle. Whoa. Hey, weird. There you go. Now I'll get these really cool little textures. So, cool thing is I can use either side on this. And I bought this bowl as well. Little foxes I can use, or the honeycomb pattern turquoise or aqua. And of course there are those times when the unexpected happens, but that's okay.
But for right now,
It's raining. Hey, that just lasted a few minutes actually, so now it's sunny again and I shall resume my activities. Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be grouting this area of our little sidewalk project, and we'll see what it looks like. We'll be mixing 1 cup of sanded grout to 2 cups of Thinset mortar, and that's how I like my grout. So follow along if you want, and I will post pictures after it's finished. Okay, here's what it looks like before this tile is grouted. It's kind of messy. There's a lot of spaces. Getting ready to grout this one section of our walk that we are mosaicing, and I'll show a before and after of it. It'll look a lot smoother than that once it's grouted. So 1 cup of this, and 2 cups of, oh, there it is, I found it. And this.
One over TDRS, that's the Tracking and Data Relay Satellites. Same satellites we use to talk to the International Space Station, that's what we'll be using to talk and track Dragon throughout its entire flight.
The morning after it rained a whole lot last night. There's no water collected, really. Kind of drained better than it usually does because we built it up right through here where it always floods. Okay, here is the section I have finished, right up to there. And here is the next section I'm going to work on. And looking at it from all angles, I have decided that this part right through there, maybe right through there, needs a little color. Maybe a few of these tiles up and put some color. Okay, Tom went back to work today. It's the first day he's had to go since March something, and it's May. It's like May 28th right now. So he did go back to work for a little while, so I'm just going to continue my project and stay busy. Maisie is pacing because she wants Tom to be home, and she's pacing, going from door to door, looking for Tom. Are you looking for Tom too? Yeah, Maisie's pacing. It's okay, Maisie. It's okay. So, it's time to dig through some more tiles and get them broken up. These are some really cute plates we found at Goodwill. And although I didn't want to break them up, they do look cute in the overall scheme of things. So I'm going to go ahead and break some more of these. Really not a perfect way to break anything, but I just kind of do that. Leaves me with some pretty flat pieces to use. I'll break this part off. And that is a pretty good flat piece. Before I get started mixing mortar or Thinset, I'm going to rearrange some pieces through here. And like I said, add some color. So I have to decide which pieces I want to work with or to take out. I have a mixture of light tile and the darker tile. These are already set in concrete. Can't take those out, and I don't want to. I like that piece right there. I like the way this is broken up into a more rounded piece. And I actually like the stones, the rocks there. We found these at, I think at Lowe's. They're already sliced and used for things like this. So thinking those two pieces right there, maybe I will take at least one of those up and use something different here, something lighter. Kind of like a puzzle. I need a pretty good sized piece. Maybe this color or that color or something lighter to go right there. So on a mission to find that. Maybe. Let's see. That goes pretty well right there. Now we need to find something that fits in there. And this kind of looks, ew. This kind of looks like it might. With the rearrangement of a few things. Let me take that little piece out. Yeah, that looks good. I'll either put color in here or more rocks. Just depends on the look that you want. But I wanted more color there, so I think I'll add color. One of the things I do is to try to create a line with tile when I'm putting color down. The same color of, using the same color of tile to create my line. So that's one of my tricks there. On the other side, I've done the same thing, but every once in a while I would put a different color, and it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. I just like to play with it like that. What you have to remember is that a white tile doesn't show up when you add grout as much as the colored tile stands out. So you have to consider that when you're placing down the base tiles. So come over here to my colored tiles and grab a few pieces of different, being very careful of course, because I've sliced my hands a few times, but I'm no baby. So I created a little color swatch right there. Replaced those two white pieces. Now I think what I'll do is just stick some more rocks right there. And then I will have a better idea of what it'll look like. Take this piece out. There's some extra stuff. It's made for a section, and I'll drop one piece of color in separate from the others. So, does it flow? Yeah, see, I try to make sure that it flows, the color flows from one section into the section here because we needed water, someplace for the water to drain. And I make sure that the colors flow from one section to the next. Okay, so now I have to go mix my Thinset so that I can secure these in place before the rain gets here. It's supposed to rain a lot again, so that'll get that done. I'll get my handy dandy dollar store little container.
You can measure, but I don't anymore. So I mix it to feel. That's way too dry, you can tell. Sometimes I mix too much water and have to add more Thinset. That's okay. This looks like it's going to be about right. Let's mix it all together. So, this is about right. It doesn't fall easily, but it still has some flow to it. Still, it's not critical, but it's perfect, you know, it's not critical, but this is like brownie batter kind of. Maybe between brownie batter and pancake batter. I don't know. Anyway, it's about right.
Bring it over here next to my loose tiles, and I just start picking them up and buttering them with the brownie batter. It's okay that there's some leaves and stuff in there. It's a mashed June bug. Okay, well anyway, I clean it as best I can, and then I don't worry about it because everything usually sticks. Once it's stuck, it's there forever. Okay, I'm gonna go put my new iPhone up because I don't want to accidentally drop it or land it in the Thinset. See you later. It's raining on my project, but it's okay because the grout has dried. The Thinset has dried, so I put this umbrella up to allow that last little few pieces that I've set down in Thinset to dry. This is our garage bistro. We're on about day 6 of the quarantine Mosaic walk project. And it's been raining, so had to take a little time off from doing it, but nothing's been disturbed, so we'll continue working. All of these, the rain did not affect any of the, that one wasn't down anyway. Okay, that one. But none of them were disturbed, so we'll continue applying Thinset to the tiles that are not secured yet. On the pattern, a little bit, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to imagine what it will look like grouted, but I say the more color the better. So the tiles are fairly easy to apply Thinset to and just stick them down, but the color tiles are a lot thinner, so you have to apply more Thinset mortar to kind of raise them up to the level of the grouted tile. So that looks somewhat like this. Grout in 2 places, and then we just see if that's about the right height. Push it over to the edge as far as I can. And clean up the back. I just sort of, that's about equal. And you can just go ahead and fill the area if you'd like. Makes it a little bit easier. Fill a small area This dries in about an hour, so it's okay to apply the Thinset as long as you're going to be working on that area and finish it. So I don't go too far with it. But that's a pretty good area. And then you apply more Thinset mortar to the back of this and just sort of fit it wherever you can. It looks nice.
Dragon SpaceX nominal trajectory. Acquisition of signal Bermuda.
SpaceX Dragon nominal trajectory. Alright, you're in nominal trajectory, so Dragon pointed in the right direction, continuing to make their flight uphill for an acquisition of signal Bermuda. That's one of the other ground stations that they're using to get telemetry and data back from this spacecraft.
Stage 2 propulsion is still nominal.
What are you doing? Y'all better not fight. Okay, I've lost track of the day we're on here, but the walk is looking a little bit more finished. I have some details before I grout this part. It looks really bad, you guys, before it looks better. It looks really bad, so it's a mess right now. This part is finished. I grouted it last week. This part, though, you can tell there's nothing in the cracks here. There's no grout, so I'm going to work on that a little bit and work on the details. We did find some turquoise in our rock collection and stuck it down, so got to do a few more details like that. And this last part, before we get up to the door, I don't even have these color tiles laid down. I'm still wanting to break up this lovely plate. I thought this was a really pretty color and pattern, so I wanted to break that plate up and add it to the stone, to the tiles. And then we also added a little sun that we had laying around in the garage. And we found some little agates that I wanted to incorporate into the pattern. I thought that was a really pretty sliced agate. So as you can see, it looks a lot worse before it gets better. It's a little bit of a messy project, but oops, here's my pajamas for the day. I come out in a different set of pajamas to work on this every day, so that's what I've been hanging around in most of this COVID-19 quarantine. It's my attire for the most part. Pajamas of the day, project of the day. Finished grouting some of this, finished doing some of the detail, and break up another plate. Stick in some more things here at the end of the walk. And we've been discussing continuing the design on up into this area. I think we have enough tile, and it would just require breaking up some more things. We dug these lovely little plants up out of a ditch in the middle of the road several weeks ago. Don't tell anybody. They're doing great. They love it here. This part hasn't even been cleaned up, and it gets the mortar I used to attach the tile gets really, really hard. So it seems like it won't come off, but it does. It comes off. You just have to lean into it and It'll eventually come off. Scrape it off with a scraping tool. That works too. Here's what I have to work with today. Sometimes I like putting the little words facing up, and some of these are two-sided. Okay, we're going to break this plate now. There's several ways to do it. One is just to, yep, like that. You gotta just be tough. You guys gotta be tough.
We don't want that rounded piece too much of it anyway, so we will see if we can break some. Geez, that's pretty good. It's not too rounded. I can put that somewhere without it being. Yeah, see, you just gotta kind of. Sometimes you gotta go with the organic nature of the break. Some of these would be really good. That's a big piece. I don't know if I have room for that.
This is a great piece. See, that's very flat, and that's the kind of piece I want. So that too, I might break this end off. But you see how it's done. That's really cute. Sometimes we have to dig out the grout so we can place the stove. So you gotta be very careful not to chip anything. Pretty good. To make sure there are no parts sticking up that could cut a foot, a bare foot. Not that we come out here barefoot a lot, but yeah, we don't have any bears, as Tom says. So, but it's good to either grind down the edges, which we will do. Just make sure it's mostly flat. The reason I like to wait to grout is because sometimes you see something that you'd like to replace. And if you haven't grouted it yet, it's way easier to replace it. I thought these pieces looked a lot better right here. You can kind of match up the curves with the curves. It's a nicer look, in my opinion. We like to incorporate things that we have found ourselves. This is a little crystal we dug up in Arkansas. This is turquoise Tom found in New Mexico. One of my favorite mugs. Some polished stones from our Rock and Gem collection. A Talavera tile that we found many years ago. I think in a shop downtown Houston, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was either that or San Antonio.
Or San Antonio. Maybe that's from San Antonio on one of our trips. We just cut off the edges, broke it up. Some sliced agate we found actually at Hobby Lobby. It's pretty cool.
In the clearance section.
In the clearance section, yeah. Thought it was a very pretty color. Sometimes you can find a place that goes just right. Here's an old earring I had with sliced agate. Can't find the other one, so we might as well use it. Aquamarine that you found. Crystals that we dug up in Arkansas. Some more sliced agate we found. Let's put all the agate together. You have to have an imagination for this part. Or do we want to scatter it? I'm not sure yet. Here's some stones that came from the Louvre. We were walking around when we visited Paris and found stones that we brought back to use. Looks like it might rain. Here's some Italian glass that I ordered a whole box of broken Italian glass for a Mosaic guitar project I was working on, but it's very thin, but you just add more grout and it'll work. Grouting, it's important to wipe off worms and bug legs and extra grout. Just get it semi-clean, warn all the ants. that you're going to do this, and if they're suicidal ants, I guess they stick around, let you grout over them. That's what I'm deciding, because I was feeling guilty about covering over the ants, and then I thought, well, maybe they just don't want to be ants anymore. I don't know. Maisie, what are you doing? What are you doing? Get back out. This is going on today. Yesterday they launched SpaceX. They're at the International Space Station, Bob and Doug. Go Dragon! So we're going to do some grouting today. I like to start where I left off. Here's the grouted section. Here's the ungrouted section. So going to be working on this. And I'll brush it off first and just get started. Tom the grout maker. We try to do our own grout, but he volunteered. Thank you, Tom. You literally just start filling in the cracks, and you go different directions. Don't worry if it gets really messy, guys. So not to worry, just make sure you get it in every crack. So I go all different directions with it. Sometimes I even pound it down in there. You're gonna cover everything, so don't get all. Sometimes there's a piece that's not. We just added this piece, so I just added that. I need to put some grout under it, since there is no Thinset under it. It'll work just the same. That piece too. Then we just set it in there. And grout over it. I want to make sure it's full so that it can lay properly. Sometimes this gets messy, you guys. If you are the type of person that does not like messes, I would suggest moving on to a different project, because it gets very messy. So it's hard to grout with a phone in your hand. So I finished the grouting and used every bit of the grout that I could, and it covered this much. And grout is messy. You're going to cover up a lot of your tile, but it's fun to uncover it when you begin the cleanup process. That's kind of a fun little part of it. But until then, it looks very messy. We're going to wait for this grout to dry. I let it wait about an hour, and it comes, smooth it off with a semi-wet sponge. It is going to rain, it looks like. It's cloudy up there, and I'm going to put an umbrella over this just in case it does. It rains a lot in Houston, so you can't let that stop you from finishing your projects outdoors. We'll work around it. So we'll let that sit there for an hour, and then come along with a wet sponge and sponge it off. Got to do that several times until it looks kind of like this. So it's a process.